Hello, my name is Adifemi Davis, and this is Ethos. This episode is sponsored by Bikes for Sale Nigeria. More on that later. In the previous episode, we talked about ethics, behaviors, expected behaviors in the workplace. Today, I want to talk about expected behaviors in the marketplace. What are your expected behaviors as an entrepreneur? All right, what are the do's and don'ts, particularly for a child of God? Whether we like it or not, the pressures of life get to us, and sometimes we bend, sometimes we compromise. The Bible is clear. The righteous man may fall 7 times. So it's natural that as Christians, sometimes we do things that are unchristianly, even in our businesses, all right? But there are do's and there are don'ts. And we won't say because we compromise a few times, now make that the norm. That should be the exception to the rule. Those should be exceptions to the rule. And one of the don'ts, all right, is you should always, not one of the don'ts, one of the do's is that you should always deliver what you promise. Whatever it is you promised a would-be client, make sure you deliver on that. All right. And like I said earlier, sometimes the pressure, the financial pressures we're going through can get to us, and we might feel, you know what, let me just bend the laws here, let me bend it here to my favor. Or after all, I've got bills, maybe, all right, you've got rent to pay, you've got school fees, those things come, and because of that, we find out that we bend. That's just a simple way. We don't break, which means that we know that as Christians, when we bend, we sometimes go back, we feel bad, all right, we try to fix it, or at least say, oh God, I'm sorry that I didn't do this as a Christian should do. But one of the do's here is that always promise what you always deliver what you promised. All right, when you're taking on the job, the client might have told you, okay, send forth a proposal or come and defend this invoice. Maybe it's even a video call, a Zoom call, a WhatsApp voice call, or a physical meeting. And you've told them, oh, I'm going to deliver this, I'm going to deliver that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. All right. Make sure that you deliver. And even time frame, if you tell them you're going to deliver in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks, as much as possible, take on the job like it's your job. Take on the job like you are your client. All right. Make sure you are treating your client the way you would want to be treated. So maybe you're a plumber, a bricklayer, an engineer, whatever it is, or maybe you vend services. You're a vendor, all right, an events planner. Make sure that whatever it is you told them before you got paid you were going to deliver, make sure you deliver. Now, I'm not saying that maybe you cannot make extra income. If, for example, you say, okay, I'm going to buy this at this amount, and you write the prices there, and you get there and you have better negotiating skills, it's wonderful. All right. Or maybe because you buy more than you buy a lot, the seller decides to give you a discount. It's okay. It's all right. Or you bring someone on board into a business and you tell the person, I'm bringing you into this business, and the person says, okay, I'm giving you 5%. It's not wrong. All right, it's not wrong. Lobbying is okay. What I mean by lobbying is sometimes you're not even the service provider. You just know the service provider. All right, and access to information can also be monetized. So they can even bring you aboard not because you want to provide a service to them, but because you know someone that can get the service done. So you can bring the person on board and add your own fee. There's nothing wrong in that. You can talk to the person that, okay, I'm bringing you aboard on this job, 10 million naira. I'm going to get an introductory fee of 500,000 naira. If the person is fine, you can negotiate 250,000 naira. There is nothing wrong with making an extra income. But as much as possible, strive to do it within the tenets acceptable to the Bible. Don't steal. If you're a church worker, for example, you're not expected to touch the offering, are you? Even if you have access to it, that's the same way you must think about it. So if you've told them that, okay, I'm going to deliver this within this time frame, and you've bought everything and you're delivering, now you now realize that you have another financial issue, maybe, which is personal now. Don't say, how do I get myself out of this new financial mess? Let me now tell them that whatever I bought was not enough, so that they can buy more. You have already bought what was enough. Just work with that. All right. Who knows? You just might get another job from them. So don't cook up fake stories. All right. Just because you want to get more money from people. Let your business have a human face. Always put yourself in the position of the client. If I were the client, would I want to be treated this way? There is nothing wrong in making a lot of money in any job. The only reason why we have billionaires in the world is that they're doing little work and they're making a lot of money from it. That's the honest truth. Most billionaires out there don't work physically now. Maybe mentally they do, but physically, many of them don't work as hard as day players. By day players, I mean laborers that work and get paid on a daily basis. Many billionaires out there don't work as hard as they do. The only reason they are billionaires is that they work and then they get paid very huge money. So if, for example, I'm a lawyer, a rich friend wants to sell a parcel of real estate, maybe for 5 billion, and I know what I can do. I can draft an agreement and get him a client that can pay the 5 billion, and I tell him, you know what, I'm getting 10% of this deal, which means you get 4.5, I get 500 million, and I can get him someone that can pay 5 billion naira. It is not a sin for a child of God to make 500 million naira in one deal. All right, cost of typing, cost of drafting the agreement, cost of calling the buyer, everything you might have spent maybe less than 50,000 naira. It is not a sin when a child of God, a true child of God, makes huge money. So in case you've been taught that, in case you've been told, you've been infused with the mindsets that Christians cannot be rich. No, Christians can be very rich, but Christians should also understand that, okay, this thing I'm about to do, is it okay? Will Jesus be happy with it? It's very important. Will Jesus be happy with this step I am taking? So if my friend agrees to do 10% and he sells this parcel of land for 5 billion, takes 4.5, gives me 500 million, he agreed. It's different from me coming back to now deceive him. Christians don't cheat. True Christians, they don't cheat. Christians cannot be 419ers. All right. So you cannot say Christians cannot be Yahoo boys. If you're a Yahoo boy, you are not a Christian. Christians are not supposed to be cyber criminals. Christians are not supposed to be criminals. Christians are not supposed to be in the workplace or in government parastatals and be stealing money. No. But if you're in a government parastatal, for example, and people submit proposal for a particular contract and you pick based on merit, you know that, okay, I chose the person that I thought was best for the job. Say 10 people submitted. Now these people execute the contract and they decide to give you a thank you fee. It is not wrong. A lot of people moved from civil service into becoming billionaires. What did they do? They used the opportunity in civil service to make new relations in the corporate environment. But it does not mean that you will now say, oh, this person deserves this contract, this person presented the best proposal, this person appeared to have the best knowledge of executing this job, but I will give this person because this person is my friend. I will give this person because if it's your personal job, yes. But if you're working for a government, you're expected to represent the government, all right, to the very best of your ability. So you're supposed to choose outside of feelings. Choose the best person for the job. Now, if the best person for the job decides to give you something as a thank you, it is not wrong. Honestly, I don't know what the legal implication is for civil servants, for government workers, but biblically, it is not wrong to get paid a thank you fee. If you're a police officer on the road and you're doing a great job, and somebody decides to appreciate you, you did not ask, you did not stop the person and deliberately created a case where there was no case, and somebody says, I see you are in the sun, I just want to give you something for soft drink, whether it is 5,000 naira, 500 naira, or 50,000 naira, it is not wrong. That's the honest truth. All right, you did not ask, you did not put the person in a discomforting situation in a bid to extract money from him. No, you didn't do that. You were doing your job and someone thought to appreciate you. It's not wrong. So it's not wrong for a child of God to be rich, but your business practices must be in tenets with the Bible. So now, sometimes the Bible may not be clear. What I mean is this: some people don't know how to interpret the Bible, but you can ask yourself one thing. If your heart is really palpitating, like palpitating excessively after you do something, there's a high chance that you did the wrong thing. If as a child of God, you want to pray, you are constantly thinking of that thing, you're sweating profusely, even if you made money from it, there's a high chance that you did the wrong thing. God put conscience in every human being. If I kill someone now and I bury the body, even if the government does not know about the body, the truth is I know. And the Spirit of God in me will be making me extremely uncomfortable until I confess. So, if you take a rash step as a child of God, a step that you know that children of God should not take this step, whether anybody knows about it or not, the Spirit of God that can see everything will begin to make you uncomfortable. So business practices that will give you sleepless nights should be avoided. So empathy is important. You cannot be apathetic. You can't be saying kokomi. I don't care if I destroy this company. I just want no. So even when you want to execute a contract for someone, you get paid to do the contract. If you're being there will let your workers to work better towards executing the contract properly as you promised, then you stay there. So you don't take up a contract and then leave careless workers on site and say, oh, you should have been paid. No, it's not right. A lot of us are calling ourselves children of God. We are serving God, we worship God, but deep down we know that we will do anything to make money. We know that we will lie, we know that we will deceive, we know that we will cook up stories about a competitor, untrue stories, just to get ahead. Those are not behaviors expected of a Christian. So love is a key ingredient in your business. I have it here in one of these things. The secret ingredient is always love. It's a key ingredient in your business. You must love your clients. So whatever you get paid for, you must try to do it like you promised. And some of us, maybe because we are in the trade industry, what we're selling doesn't matter, so we don't really attract value to it. But imagine you're in the food industry and a product has expired. You know it has expired, but because it costs you about, maybe the merchandise you still have on ground is about maybe 5 million, or let's say 50 million, and you don't want to lose it, then you now tell your staff to clean off the whole expiry date and create a new one and screen print it on the products. You don't love your neighbors as yourself. You don't love the would-be buyers, because some of them may buy these things and end up in the hospital. Some of them might even die. Even if nothing happens to them, why should you take such a risk? Why should you gamble with the lives of the people that you claim to love? And you cannot say you are a child of God if love is not in your DNA. That's the honest truth. You cannot. So if you're rich and because you want this land, and some people are unwilling to sell this land to you, but you really covet this land, which is a sin in itself, you now do everything possible, right? Because you're connected to powers that be. You now use those powers that be to get the rightful owners of the land, or you force them to sell to you, or you even force them to sell at a price that is below market value, then you do not love your neighbors. You don't love your neighbors. And you cannot say you're Christ. You are in Christ. You might be going to church. A lot of people are going to church. A lot of people are workers in church. A lot of people dance in church. A lot of people drop big offerings. But their conducts during the week, they don't represent Christ. Now, like I said, Christians can bend. When I say Christians can bend, I'm not saying Christians have the license to bend. What I mean is Christians can sometimes succumb to pressure. That's why the Bible says a righteous man can fall 7 times. But a Christian should realize that this thing I just did is not an expected behavior of a child of God, and seek redress. If redress cannot be sought, okay, God, I'm sorry. Can you please help me not to do this again? And let me talk about the story of David as I wrap up. David met Bathsheba. No, he did not meet Bathsheba. He saw her having a bath. He could have looked and taken his eyes away. He looked to the point that there was lust in his heart. That was sin 1. Sin 2, he got the girl to come over. He made love to her, someone else's wife. Then got her pregnant and would call her husband from the battlefield to come. He wanted the husband to make love to the wife, so that whenever the child came, it would appear as though the child actually belonged to the husband. Unfortunately, Uriah said, no, sir, I want to go back to the battlefield. What I'm experiencing there is more important than making love to my wife. So David was like, this is fuck up. Okay, sorry for that word. Let me see, what else can I do? So David planned the death of Uriah. Now he planned the death, okay, and Uriah would die. Uriah died. David now got Bathsheba, and God now sent, I think, Prophet Nathan to him, that if someone did this, then what did you think should happen? And David said, this person should be killed. And Nathan said, it's you. That was when David wrote Psalm 51 to ask for forgiveness. In sin did my mother conceive me. All right, in sin I was born. God forgive me. And he apologized to God. So you can be in a position of power and use your power to trample upon someone else's glory, someone else's destiny, someone else's vision. You can use your position of power to steal a young boy's idea. Maybe a graduate, for example, sends you a beautiful proposal. And rather than say, come on board, I like this. Can I buy this proposal for 5 million naira? All right, and then you sign an agreement. You rubbish the boy, you send him out, and then you tell your PA, all right, or your general manager, let's go and execute this. That's someone else's sweat. Someone else spent many nights drafting that proposal, and now that it will benefit your brand, you did not pay for it. But you know that the boy is just a young school leaver, a young graduate. There is no way that he can sue you. You have a retinue of lawyers. Legally you might get away with it, but God sees everything. And don't commit a sin that 20 years after, 30 years after, your children will suffer from it. Many of us think that, because Jesus has come, it means that we are automatically absolved of every sin. God can forgive, but God can still punish. The soul might be saved, but physically there might still be a punishment. And that's why we must be careful, especially in business, because business is one way by which we get money. So the pressure to get money, the pressure to buy the cars of our dreams, the pressure to post on social media and appear successful is making many of us cut corners. Is making many of us execute government contracts poorly. Some government contracts have been so poorly executed that people have died. People may not be able to trace the faults to you, but God, who sees everything, knows that it was because you used this grade of cement here, it was this grade of concrete, it was because you used this size of iron rods where you were supposed to use this size. God knows these things because he sees everything, and you don't want a situation where Maybe after you have nurtured your own children and you are expecting rewards from them, God now says it is time for me to avenge the deaths of those people that you cursed. So in any way we think we have grieved, in any way we have cut corners, in any way we have stolen funds, like I said earlier, Christians cannot be Yahoo boys. Christians cannot be cyber criminals. There is no justification for a businessman to steal another person's hard-earned money. So if we have done it, recognize that they can be forgiven by God, yes. Seek redress, and as much as possible, even if you bend, make sure you don't break. Don't make sin a lifestyle in your business. Don't make it, don't be so wealth conscious that you don't mind you don't care whose life you destroy just to get money. I hope you understand. My name is Adefemi Davis, and this has been Ethos. Like I said, Bikes for Sale Nigeria is sponsoring this video. If you would love to buy a motorcycle, high-powered motorcycles, 400 cc's, 500 cc's, 600 cc's, 1000 cc's, you can visit facebook.com/Bikes for Sale Nigeria or instagram.com/Bikes for Sale Nigeria. It's Bikes for Sale Nigeria is a Facebook and Instagram community that connects buyers to sellers. If you also have high-powered motorcycles to sell, you can send us messages on Bikes for Sale Nigeria. We will post your bike, we will put your phone number and address so that anyone who is interested can reach out to you. Thank you so much for watching this episode. My name is Adefemi Davis. God bless you.